Race by race preview time for our Saturday meeting coming up at Sha Tin. Paul Lally's alongside me to have a look at all of the action, and we kick things off with race number 1, a Class 5 1600 with a full field of 14, and Accolade Start, Beautiful Win, and also Jolly Jumper. They all drop in grade. Smashing Express, 13 starts without winning. Supreme Winner, Smart Beauty, Family Fortune went close on the dirt last start. Strongest Boy, Chateau Le Péché, 2,000 metre winner last time out. Casa Legend, Gangnam Star, Lapras hasn't done a great deal. And you've got Winning Turn and Winning 7 down at the bottom. Jolly Jumper could lead these ones maybe?
I think, yeah, with a £10 claim, I think there's some clear intent to go forward and lead. He has gone forward, he's downgraded. He's drawn 11, but there's no other real leader in the race. I mean, Lapras is a possibility, he can lead. Winning Turn can go forward, Casa Legend, Supreme Winner. Accolade Start's got blinkers back on, another downgrader, so maybe they'll be a little bit more positive with him. Smart Beauty races best when he goes back, and Beautiful Win, another ground that downgraders, is drawn barrier number 10.
9 non-winners amongst the field here, and we'll start with the Casper Founds trained galloper, and that is Family Fortune, who ran second here last time out. Paul, on the dirt, was about midfield, maybe a little bit worse, slightly held up sort of here near the 200 metres and only just missed. Yeah,
look, I think he can win this race. The race before on the grass as well, on the turf, it was over 1,400 metres and he had no luck in that race whatsoever, just beaten in the bob. A win looks close to him. He's been quite consistent in this grade.
Chateau Le Péché, 2,000 metre winner last time out, who it goes up £5 for that victory. But is it rather a negative coming back and trip for him?
It looks that way because he looks a real stayer in the making. Well, he is a stayer, this horse. The other thing with him is he's drawn barrier 13. So if he does go forward or try and get himself into a midfield position, he's in danger of being trapped wide. There is a big run to the first bend over the 16, but as you can see, to me, the way he races, he looks like he really wants to grind down the opposition. Coming down here, and he just managed to get up. So back over the 16, I just think it looks a little bit too sharp.
2 more horses to see through this final replay, and one of them is Winning 7, right down off the low rating here of 20. And also in this replay is Strongest Boy, who has at least got a win, and it was up in Class 4. But what do we make of these two?
Well, the thing with Winning 7 is he's 6-zip here at Sha Tin, and he's drawn barrier 12, so he's hard to have off those stats. Look, Strongest Boy is probably the better of the two. At least he's won a race, as you mentioned, albeit at Happy Valley.
He's drawn barrier 1 as well for Ben Thompson and David Hayes. Tricky old way to start the Saturday card. Could we get a bit of an upset here?
Yeah, I'm going to go with a horse I think is going to be one of the favourites. He's been so consistent, and that's Family Fortune. Look, Beautiful Win, one of the downgraders. I thought he was capable of winning in Class 4 and has been placed. He'll need luck from barrier 10. Jolly Jumper was one of those. They don't chase hard in this grade. We Catch Me If You Can in front from him. And Smashing Express has run placings in this grade. 7, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, that is Paul's verdict on the first of the day, Saturday at Sha Tin, and the Class 5 mile is set down to jump at 1 o'clock. And the second race on the card, we are racing down the straight 1,000 with this Class 4 handicap, and Alfonso here for Mark Newnham and Zach Purton, drawn high in barrier number 13. Call to Command dropping in grade, Alluring Loud cheek pieces off. Chevelle Valiant, last one off a rating of 56. Turf Phoenix has done nothing. Lahore was unlucky first up. Moon Rocket ran well. You've got Smart Engineer having his second start. Straight to Glory is making his debut, a 3-year-old by Hellbent, and then you've got Summit Chairs Winning Diamond on debut, a 3-year-old by Deepfield Island, breezes towards the bottom with Precious Hill, Paul.
Yeah, look, Chevelle Valiant likes to lead, there's no question. He should be able to get across from barrier number 4. Riding High has been going forward in his racing. Alluring Lau has got the claim, so he's been forward in his recent one. Precious Hill led over 1,200 last time. He might struggle to get across over the 1,000. Alfonso had his first start down the straight and ran second, just off the pace, and Lahore won't be far away either.
It's interview time, and here is Ben Thompson to discuss the chances of the debutante by Deepfield, Winning Diamond. Ben, you're riding Winning Diamond for Dennis Ship, making his debut. You've been on board for three of his 4 trials. What have you made of him so far?
Yeah, he's been lovely off the experience I've had with him, Tom. He's he's been very professional for a debutant that hasn't, obviously coming here as a PPG. He's really showing signs of a nice, mature horse. So looking forward to riding him race day.
It's fair to say it didn't look like he needed too much persuading to find the line in his recent trial up at Chung Fa.
No, it was very much on his own terms. He's like in each of his trials, he's kept improving. I rode him in his first two and then his fourth trial. But even watching his third, he looked like he took good progression again from his second to his third, and did so from his third to fourth. So he feels well equipped, or as well equipped as can be leading into that debut race. Barriers coming out, with him drawing barrier 12, looks perfect. Obviously, it's always advantageous to draw closer to the outside rail, which he has. He has to take on seasoned, competitors. However, very happy with the horse I'm on in the race.
Looks like at the trials as well, at the start, he looks like he's been getting away on even terms as well.
He has. He really done that at his first trial. And even since, without riding him in one of the four, he's always felt as though he could have, made play, vying for the front if left to his own devices, but probably just part of the schooling, education process. We've elected to find cover with him. He's handled that well too. So obviously with a horse like Cheval Valiant in the race, they're not going to be going at a leisurely tempo, but he feels like he's got the right tools to handle the occasion well, and hopefully debut in a really good way.
Yeah, certainly looks an interesting type. He trialled in New Zealand prior to arriving at Winning Diamond. We move on from Ben Thompson to look at the replay here of Alfonso. No luck, Lahore, Paul, behind them. They did go to the steward's room and have a little bit of a look at that, and Moon Rocket there on the far side.
Look, I think all four of these horses have got chances in this race. They're all really close up. Island Breezes, he was really catching the eye against the rails here in that orange cap. Moon Rocket looked like he was going to win about here, just came to the end of it. Alfonso was finishing off strongly, and Lahore. So, look, all four of them finished really close up, and one more stride, and Island Breezes just about would have won that race.
Yeah, he really motored home over the final stages to Island Breezes. Here's Lahore back at the trials, but he was in this trial with the Straight to Glory, who's the son of Hellbent. He was $150,000 through the NZB ready to run sale, and he won his most recent trial, and he's drawn up on the outside rail.
Yeah, look, he's had 4 in total. He's drawn, as you say, 14. He's 11.52 pounds for his debut, so he's got a big, strong horse. So, look, he's again, with these two debutants, they both look like they've got ability coming into this race.
They certainly do, and that is one of them there on screen, Straight to Glory. And finally, Cheval Valiant, who bolted up in a trial. He won this by 12 1/4 lengths here over the 800 metres.
Yeah, you know exactly what he does. He just goes straight to the front. If you just need to close your eyes over the last 150 metres. Has won off a 56. He's rated 57 at the moment. He's drawn 4, and that was just a little concern. I know he's very speedy out of the gates, but he just might have to work a little bit to get across from barrier number 4.
Won by a big space there. Last one off 56. He has won this season, and that trial there, a big win. Of course, he chased home Super Strong Kid last time out. Selections for the second.
Going to go with the 4 horses that came out of that same race, actually. They finished all close up. Look, Moon Rocket, hopefully he's a price. He was 20 to 1 on debut, and he wasn't too far away. Alfonso ran second in that race. Lahore was on debut. He is 40 to 1. And Island Breeze has almost won it. But the way he races, he just needs a bit of luck. 7, 1, 6 and 12.
An intriguing race, the second. A couple of debutants mixing it with plenty of the tried and true down the straight 1,000. We stay in Class 4, but we rise to 1,400 metres for race number 3. And here's the lineup with Flash Current, who covered ground last start. At the top of the order, riding together, Excel Wongju didn't like the track conditions last time out. IPI Bros, Yuchong Victory on a 6-day turnaround. You've got Ace and Legendary Star having their second start. Lucky Statement's having his third. Sugar Queen Prawn is having his second start. You've got Time to Fire, the Auspicious. That, of course, took money last start. Everyone's Classic and Magic Beans towards the bottom. Pace here, could he get it his own way in front riding together?
Look, yeah, he only had the one start in Class 4, ran 4th on his Class 4 debut. There's no real leader, and I think he's a horse that likes to go forward, and he might just try and dictate the pace there. Excel Wong Choi, Zeta Force. Flash Current has got a lot better draw in 7 than he has had, so he'll probably just try and slot in there with Legend Star. IPO Bros has got the claim, but no early speed. The rest will go back, I think.
First replay is Riding Together, who's likely to be up at the pointy end of things like he was here, just behind the speed last time out in the trail. He's trained, of course, by David Eustace, Andrea Rezzini out of stall number 10. Yet to figure in the top 3, but this was his best run to date.
And his first start in Class 4, so I think that's probably the key for this horse. He seems to be racing a lot better now he's down in grade. If he can dictate in the front, I think he can be there for a long period of the race. This horse Riding Together, he sort of stayed on one pace here in this particular contest. This was over 1,400 metres, and he'll stick to the 1,400. So, he didn't give it away by any stretch. He just sort of held his position.
Yeah, the winner there was Patch of Stars, and he lines up on the program through the course of Saturday. Excel Wong Choi here. We go back 2 runs when he was 3rd behind Carry On Smiling. Did pull up with blood in the trachea last start, but also the comment from Karis Teaton was that didn't enjoy the good to yielding surface here. Yeah,
just one placing at Sha Tin from his 6 starts. He went back in this race, and you can see him, he drew wide, and that's the reason he went back. He's drawn a lot lower in this, so he's going to be a lot more forward, I think, than he was. But maybe this is the key to him, and to get him go back and run on strongly, because this is probably the best run we've seen from him.
He was 26 to 1 in that race. Last start he was 7.5 in the market. Back to the trials we go, and this is Flash Current now, who did cover some ground last start. Paul, of course, he won 2nd up at a decent price, and Purton is on for Jimmy Ting.
Yeah, and then he did run 3rd behind Akash Vani as well, and wasn't far away. So, look, I think he's got the credentials to win this race. I know he's got to carry the big weight. He's carrying 133. Nice trial, hit the line strongly. But from his 4 starts, he looks quite progressive, and he looks more than capable to win a race at the bottom of Class 3 as well.
Just wanted to lay in a little bit over the final stages of that last race too. Did Flash Current. Selections for race number 3?
Going to go with him, Flash Current. I don't think this is an overly strong race. So he's on top. Now, if Riding Together can get his own way in front, I think he's going to be there for a long period. He should be able to get across easy enough from barrier 10. Time to Fire. Now, he's only had the 2 starts. Did hit the line strongly, so he has improved from start 1 to start 2. And Zeta Force, a lot of money for him last time, and he wasn't too far away. 1, 2, 10, 12.
And race number 3 on the card Saturday opens the early treble on races 3, 4 and 5. We're on the dirt for race number 4, and coincidentally, it is the first leg of the triple trio here for a Class 4 1650 with Gene Liner, who is dropping in grade, has barrier 9. Conspirator also dropping in grade. Wonder Stars on a 6-day turnaround, the former Macau galloper. Floof with the Charming Steed. Matters Most has the cheek pieces off Precision Goal. Lost the tongue tie mid-race last start. Further down, you've got Forever Folks in barrier 1. Meep a last start winner. Viva Chaleur, Lucky Impact, Phantom Cyclone getting close to Class 5. Bit of pace here.
Yeah, Wonder Star, he likes to lead. He's set up some fast sectionals, particularly last week. Precision Goal likes to lead. Spangle Fortune likes to lead. Charming Steed likes to lead. G Liner likes to lead. And Conspirator went forward last time as well. So, look, there's plenty of pace in this race for sure.
It certainly is over the 1650. So, the charge of the Light Brigade into the first turn, and drawn barrier 1 this week is Forever Folks with Ben Thompson. Forever Folks lining up on the all-weather for Michael Chang. Typical sort of run from him last time out. Get back, run on, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. And to the horse's credit, and more so, Michael Chang and his team, he's such a model of consistency. Really found what makes him tick and what he enjoys in his racing. So, and more often than not, that's the all-weather track. As I said, he's very consistent, and as like a lot of his competitors, it's probably just a lot of the races are all half the result feels like it's dealt on paper, before we even get on horseback. So coming up with barrier 1's fantastic. I will say he does prefer, like most horses, the standard harrowed track. So I'm hoping the rain isn't around and we're on a sealed track. But I think, off his form, you'd be confident he'll race well again.
I was going to ask about the draw with him, because he's come up with gate number 1, but he does quite often draw out as well. With a horse like him and his racing style, where would you ideally prefer to draw with him?
Definitely inside. It's just funny because you think he's a horse that Even when he's won, there's been times he's been under pressure or needing encouragement 1,000 metres from home, and he, then regathers to win the race. Where I find he's a horse that does, or history says he's travelled better inside horses, funnily enough. So I'm very happy with being on the rail, just so he can be a bit more complacent if, covering ground. So on the rail will be great as long as we're, whatever we're following can present us room. But other than that, his track work, there's been no change in him. He's just a consistent, happy horse. So it'd be a well-deserved victory if he can break through again.
Do we have to consider Paul from a good draw fashion legend because he's come up with barrier number 2 and he's looked good in a recent dirt trial?
Yeah, I like this trial, and look, he's only had the 2 starts on the surface. He won his first quite impressively, then drew 12 and had no luck whatsoever behind Chilkaka. This looks so much easier for him. There's all the space in the race. He can sit just in behind it from barrier number 2. I think he's the one to beat on the surface.
Yeah, it was a good, strong trial there from him, so we'll see what he can do from the good draw with all the pace in the race. You're going with him?
Yeah, I'm going to go with him. I think he's one of the better bets on the card with all the speed in. He can just sit in behind and finish off strongly. Spangled Fortune, he's very consistent and he'll be right in behind the pace as well. Meet and Lucky Impact, they both get back, so I think they'll get the race run to suit. 8, 10, 11 and 13.
Plenty of speed in our first visit of 2 visits to the all-weather on Saturday, and race number 4, the Triple Trio, underway at 2:30. Six Up is underway with the 5th on Saturday at Sha Tin, and here's the lineup for the Class 4 1400. The second section. Patch of Stars, the last start, went up £9. Never Too Soon. Lucky Fion never really ran on last start, was a bit disappointing. Second to None. Fun Together's not won for a while. California Sun's on debut. Star Bros has a tongue tie fitted for his second start. Fortune Star ran on well last start. Beauty Live so well rated but hasn't won for a long time. Magic Combo. You've got Arden, Inno Century, 5th start for him. E-Universe Smiling Collector, another one that can be a bit hard to catch. E-Universe to go forward to Paul, but he's actually never had a race day start at Sha Tin.
He hasn't, and look, he's a 1,200 metre Happy Valley, so now he's stepping up to 14 at Sha Tin, up that extra 200 metres. I think he's just got the pace to go forward. If he doesn't lead, Inno Century's the other one. He could easily lead as well. So I'd say, that's the lead trail scenario for those two. Magic Combo led last time. Second to None, he went forward as well, but he sort of faded, so I'm not sure what they're going to do with him from a wide draw. Fun Together is another one that could possibly lead. Lucky Fion's back in trip, 16 back to the 14. That's his winning distance, and Patch of Stars won't be far away.
Andrea Atzini, we caught up with him down at the track at Happy Valley on Friday morning to discuss the chances of Inno Century. Andrea, Inno Century lining up for Chris So. He's only a lightly tried 4-year-old having his 5th start, but looks like he acquitted himself reasonably well last start.
For sure, he seems like he's getting better each run. He obviously ran at Sha Tin first start, and then obviously Chris decided to bring him to the Valley, and he's run well. I thought his last run was good. He looks like he's ready to step up in trip and to 14, which is on tomorrow, and I think a more of a galloping track like Sha Tin might suit him better too.
So that run last start, was your advice or Chris's opinion that the 1400 would, on that run last start, be ideal for him this time?
Yeah, well, a bit of both. I obviously suggested that I thought he was a horse that was ready to step up in trip, and he's had enough experience around here now to go back to Sha Tin. And I like the horse. He's a 4-year-old, but he's very lightly raced, and he's got a nice draw, and he's pretty straightforward. So hopefully we can get a good pitch. He doesn't do anything quick, but stepping up to 14, like I said, will really suit him.
Looks like he should get similar sort of run to what he got here at Happy Valley last start.
Yeah, last time we got a really good trip. We got a nice position just in behind the pace. Just faster horses later on over 1200 just sort of out sprinted him a little bit. He just sort of plodded on. So like I said, hopefully Saturday with a good draw up in trip and a nice track like Sha Tin should suit him better.
You're riding Gorgeous Win in the last. It's a pretty hot-looking Class 2 race over the 1,200 metres. You were on him a couple of runs ago. What are your thoughts going into Saturday with the Danny Shum runner?
Well, he's got a good gait in too. He's a horse that he's not had the best draws lately, but he sort of goes back anyway. But the draw helps. Like I said, it's a very hot race. But at this level, he should be very competitive.
He has been running well without sort of threatening the top 2 or 3. So you think he can measure up again and put in one of those sort of runs?
Of course you can. Yeah, like I said, I think they can make the case of 5 or 6 or most of the horses in this race. Like I said, it's a very hot race, but he's got a nice draw in Class 2. He's run well in group races, not beaten far. So back down to this level, he's actually galloped him the other morning, and I trialled him too. So he seems in good order. So fingers crossed we can get a good trip around and he'll run big.
Andrea Razzini on Inno Century, but also a quick commenter there on Gorgeous Win, who's going around in the Class 2. On we go to a Patch of Stars. Paul, he was an impressive winner last time out. Wanted to lay in a little bit under pressure, but really dashed strongly from his position here on the turn.
His work's been really good since. He's drawn barrier number 1. He drew 8 here, so look, he's going to get a nice run, I think, back along the rail. I liked his turn of foot when he came down here. He looked like a horse who's got rating points in hand. He stays in Class 4. He has to carry the big weight now. He's up to 134 pounds. But in saying that, he could easily win at the bottom of Class 3. And Super Express, the horse that he actually did run down, has looked really good. So I think it's going to be not a bad form race as well.
Yeah, what Super Express was 1.5, 1.6, somewhere around that. He was very short. Never Too Soon, the last of them here to preview for this race. Barrier 2, Brenton of Della. Matthew Poon was aboard last time out here at Happy Valley, but he's a horse that doesn't win out of turn.
No, he doesn't. He's just a one-time winner at Sha Tin from his 25 starts. He's a 3-time winner in total, so he has won a couple of times at Happy Valley. I find him hard to catch, Never Too Soon. He's going to get his opportunity once again from barrier number 2, and it was a better run there.
Yeah, there are a few in this race that are a bit hard to catch. Are you with the toppy here?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the toppy. I think he can win Patch of Stars, make it 2 in a row. Comes out of a strong form race. Now, Fortune Star has only had the 2 starts, and he's looked good in both those. Now, he's got barrier number 4. He drew 9 and 10 at his other 2 starts. Inno Century will lead or trail. And Lucky Fionn coming back to the 1,400 metres. He didn't run on over 16. I like him back at 14. 1, 8, 12 and 3.
Paul going with Stars plural, Patch of Stars over Stars singular in race number 5 coming up at Sha Tin. And the trophy event is the Hong Kong Riding for the Disabled 50th Anniversary Cup, and it is a Class 4 1200 with Enjoy Golf, who continues to run second placings. He's now got 5 of them next to his name. Little Paradise, a very good debut winner. Mount Everest won on debut, then ran 3rd. Happy Park, you got Sal, she's not done too much. Lean Master set up a very strong tempo. You've got Glaciated there with the Run Sea Sapphire down towards the bottom with the King Show there as well. His recent trial winner is King Show. Lean Master, though, he set a very quick tempo in front last start.
I think he'll try and do something similar. Look, Sea Sapphire can lead. Happy Park's led in the past. Enjoy Golf has been going forward over 1,000 metres. He might just have to work a little bit, Enjoy Golf. PG By, he's going to get a nice run 3 back in the inside there. King Show, Flying Double back to Sal, she'll be midfield. Now, Little Paradise, from his wide draw, he led last start and led all the way, but in a recent trial, he went back and hit the line strongly. So I think with all this pace in the race, they might go back with him.
First replay does have Enjoy Golf in it, but it also features Lean Master, who set up the strong tempo. Of course, Aaron won this. Glaciated, his run wasn't the worst, and Sal, she's back on the inside there, but Enjoy Golf always finds one better.
Seems to, doesn't he? And look, he's just got this wide draw. I'm going to include him. He's hard to leave out. He gets a 7-pound claim as well, which should help him, so that'll bring his weight right down. But from barrier 8, he just might have to work to get across. He was no match for Aaron, who will probably start short price later in the card. So, look, he'll go in, but I've got another one to beat him.
Little Paradise, he was a top winner on debut. He's been back to the trial since, and his trial was very, very good. And here he is off the front. He's got a further 5 pounds to carry. His run certainly well spaced. He's 41 days since this effort, and of course, with a smile, has come out and won out of this race.
He has. Look, it was a really strong win from this horse, no questions. Barrier 10, you look at on paper and think, well, this looks going to be a little bit tricky for him because there's so much pace in the race. That's why I think they'll go back. Because when he won his all-weather trial, he came from well back and hit the line under a hold. So I think he's going to be a versatile horse. It's just he's got to carry the 133, but I think he's quite smart.
Moving on to Mount Everest, and he ran third in this race. You've got Run and PG Bay out wider on the track here. The Per Encanto 3-year-old and Dazzling Fit has come through this race, Paul, and won. And he had a tough passage here to PG Bay.
He did. Look, I think he can improve a lot off this run, and he's had a recent trial to suggest that he can. Mount Everest is not out of it either. He's only had the 2 starts for a win and a placing, so he's got plenty of ability. But I think PG Bay can do the tables on Mount Everest in this one.
Another last winner in the race, down towards the bottom, is Sea Sapphire with Ben Thompson for David Eustace, barrier 1. And he defeated Akash Vani in the top 2 in this race, really cut away.
They did, and there was a truckload of money for this horse to suggest he was going to do this as well. Look, he sort of had his own way in front. He's not going to have that with Lean Master in the race. Lean Master will lead, I've got no doubt. He'll set up some pretty strong sectionals. He's got barrier 1, so he's just going to have to sit in behind. But it was a strong enough win from him. He managed to hang on here. It's just whether he can go back without dominating from the front.
Goes up £6 for that last start victory. But you're a PG Bay man.
Yep, PG Bay, I'm going to go with him. Just had the 1 start, so he's on top. Little Paradise is going to be tough to beat, there's no questions. I think he'll go back and he'll be running on at Mount Everest and Enjoy Golf. 7, 2, 3, 1.
That is race 6, the Hong Kong RDA Association 50th Anniversary Cup, and that is sit down for 3:30. Back onto the dirt for race number 7, and this is the second and final event on the dirt, a Class 3 1650. Talent's Ambition has had to freshen up, and he's back at the top of the handicap here. Bundle of Charm, Never Peter Out's been in terrific form. Fighting Machine, visor off, blinkers going on. Dragon Air Force, you've got Chill Kaka, who's won his last 2 steps up in grade. Fast Speed, Cheek Pieces on for the first time, one on the Te Peter at Newcastle, and Northern Beast down towards the bottom. His second run on the Your Weather. Ariel, well, we know where he likes to be.
Yeah, he didn't get anywhere near the lead last time, and he didn't run very well. He runs best from the front, so I'm sure they're going to try for the front once again. Northern Beast set up some really strong sectionals. He's another horse that can lead, and he's got the £10 claim, so maybe they'll share the lead if Ariel can't get across, or Ariel across. Whatever happens, with Ariel wanting to lead, I'm sure it's going to put the pace in the race. That's why we went good to fast. Dragon Air Force, now he went back over 1200 last time. He steps up to the 1650 for the first time. All cash. Chill Kaka should get that good run along with Talent's Ambition. Never Peter Out might be a little bit further back, and Fighting Machine with an inside draw, but no early pace.
Right, many of them come through the same replay here behind Never Peter Out, who ran second in this race, and you can see a whole host of runners behind him, sort of from 6th through to about 12th there, but he's been a revelation on the dirt this season, this horse, and he covered some ground. He looked to be under a fair bit of pressure and did respond to that. He
did. Look, every horse tries to find their little niche or little mark here in Hong Kong. He's definitely found his, and that's on the surface. Look, this season he's had 9 starts. He's won 4 times on it, and he almost won this. It was only because Telecom Fighters pinched it from the front. So he's got that awkward draw. I think he'll get back, but he'll be running on strongly again.
He is going up £8 for that this week, however. Dragon Air Force, he's had a good season. He's won 2 of 9 and placed multiple times as well, and he was another one that just missed here. He really wound up strongly late behind The Winner Must Go. Yeah,
another one that loves the surface, a 2-time winner on it this season. The query for him, I suppose, is the distance. He's stepping up to 1650 for the first time. All his runs have been over 1200. The way he finished off here, you'd think 1650 would be fine for him. So you take him a little bit on trust as far as the distance is concerned.
Well, here's another dirt demon coming up, and it is the Ricky U-trained Chill Kaka, who's won his last 2. Of course, Richard Kingscote 2 runs ago. Zach Purton last time out was quite a cushy win in the end.
It did, didn't it? Now, he's got to come up and do it in Class 3. But then he only has to carry 121. He's drawn 6. He should get a perfect run. There looks like a lot of speed in this race, and he comes off a fast pace and does this. I think he can do it in Class 3. Zach Purton sticks with him. And as you can see, he was a little bit cheeky in the end here as well.
Won it well there, of course, it did to Chilkaka. And a horse that's coming out of a trial, Talent's Ambition here for Mark Newnham and Hugh Bowman. Now he's been freshened for this, so they ran through one of the legs of the 4-year-old series, the first leg behind My Wish. Hasn't been seen since a run at Happy Valley behind Beauty Alliance. Fallon's come out of that race and won. What about him with the big weight?
Yeah, I quite like this horse. I've always had time for him. He's had 5 starts over the course and distance. He's won 2 of them. He's been placed in the other 2. Very consistent. Again, a horse that needs pace in the race, and I'm sure he's going to get it, so he definitely goes in as well.
It's a pretty good race, this second and final event on the dirt. So many last start winners, some good trial form there as well. So siding with?
I'm going to go with Chilkaka down the bottom, only at the weights. Look, he's got the lightest weight compared to Talent's Ambition. I see that as the Quinella. I'm going to put Dragon Air Force in. He steps up to the 1650 for the first time, and then never peter out. So consistent. He's hard to leave out totally. 9174.
That's race number 7, the second and final of the 2 races on the dirt. Class 3, 1400 as the 8th, coming up Saturday, Sha Tin, and only looks to be a handful of chances in this race. The likes of Juno Pride, Light Years Charm, and Another World. Outside of that, you've got Top Gun, a recent trial winner. Gentleman Legacy on debut. He was Divine Crown, trained by Paul Cumming when he won at Moe, Geelong, and also on the Heath track at Caulfield. Chevelle Victorious, tongue tie going on, rising from ashes. Mr. Vigor, New Forest, and Meowth down towards the bottom. New Forest, he can lead here potentially?
Yeah, I think he can, New Forest. He has been going forward in most of his races. Janu Pride's drawn nicely in 2. He can tuck in. Another World can go forward. Like Yes Charm will get his chance. Chevelle Victorious, Gentleman Legacy, the debutant. Meowth ran on from the back last time. The other forward, the query horse is Top Gun, because Top Gun, when he did win his race, he led all the way, but he's been just going back in all his races recently, so I'm not quite sure what they're going to do with him, Top Gun. But from barrier 10, I think they'll probably go back.
We'll kick off on Juno Pride here, and he was up just behind the speed with New Forest. Obviously, Another World just behind the eventual winner here, who was South Star. Juno Pride, he's done a good job. 3 wins from 8 starts.
Only a little chap, Juno Pride. He's very small, but he can carry the big weights. He's got to carry 135 once again here from barrier number 2. So he's going to get his opportunity, just run down by South Star late. Another World, he's another consistent horse. So both these 2 horses look like major chances in the race.
So Juno Pride carries the same weight he did last time out. Juno Pride, and Another World drops from 132 to the 129 pounds. Light Years Charm, this was a sterling performance from him. Paul, he was sort of tracking the winner here, Honglok Golf. He covered a little bit of ground, but this time round he's got barrier 3.
Yeah, look, I can see him being a lot closer. I mean, the query is he can be a little bit slow way out of the gate, so he'll just need to jump. But in the smallest field, I think he'll be able to. This form looks rock solid now. He was punted to beat Honglok Golf in this race. He was the shorter price of the 2 of them, but Honglok Golf managed to hang on. He was 1.9 favourite in this Light Years Charm. Honglok Golf's come out and won again, so the form looks rock solid.
Yeah, he's a subsequent Class 2 winner now, is Honglok Golf. Now, Top Gun won at his debut here off a rating of 73. It was just over a year ago now, but geez, been hard to follow.
Yeah, look, and he led all the way. This trial, he sort of settled midfield, came through the inside and won. He'd been racing back in his recent racing. He's drawn 10, so that's why I thought they might just go back with him. So he will need a bit of pace on, which he should get in the race. The trial was good. He's obviously a horse that goes better fresh. I was happy to watch him, though, because he is a hard horse to catch.
Look, he was in the trial there with Keefe, and of course he was a winner from the stable on Wednesday night.
Another hard horse to catch.
Another hard horse to catch. Who's on top here?
Going to go with Light Years Charm to beat Janu Pride. I think they're the main 2 in the race. I'm going to put Meowth in there for 3rd. He did catch the eye, finishing off strongly at his last start. Another horse that did win on debut, and then Another World in there for 4th. So 2, 1, 11 and 4.
Paul siding with Light Years Charm for the Class 3 over the 1400 metres, race number 8. Class 3 1200 is the penultimate race, race number 9, and here's the lineup for it with the Call Me Glorious. Last one off 73's mark 79 for this from barrier 10. Lifeline Express barrier 11. Eris Nova's been running well. Super Legends has a £10 claim. One more unlucky. Righteous Arian covered ground last start. Regal Gem wasn't bad at his second start. Aaron, a last start winner up in grade. California Bay on debut here in Hong Kong, a son of Done Deal. Placed second at Rose Hill and on the Kensington circuit at Randwick. Big Return and Genius Baby eligible for Class 4. £10 claim, handlebars down, Super Legends.
Yeah, he's a three-time winner this season. He's actually in really good form, Super Legends. I know that's what I see for him. Aaron, I think, can just get that nice run in behind like he did when he won. Call Me Glorious will come across some barrier 10. California Bay's gone 12, drawn 12. He's gone forward in his trials. One more should get his opportunity. He was a bit unlucky, as you mentioned, last start. Eris Nova's been a winner this season. Marvin Gold hasn't shown too much early speed, and Lifeline Express will go back from the wide field.
And here is Mark Newnham to discuss the unlucky one more at his debut start at Sha Tin. Mark, one more. He didn't have a great deal of luck up the straight, but it must have been satisfying to see when he did get clear, he found the line strongly.
Yeah, look, he just got strung up, and that's the nature of straight racing. When he needed to get a bit of momentum, he didn't, but he ran through the line well.
Stepping up to 1,200 metres from the 1,000 metres, was it just that ideal preparation going to 1,200 the way he finished off last start?
Yeah, and look, he's a horse that can be a bit aggressive, and he was in his trial. So I just wanted to give him a run first before we stepped him up in trip. But look, he's been good in his work, and he's drawn a bit awkwardly, but he's got good natural pace, so he'll put himself somewhere in a forward position.
You mentioned that trial on the all-weather at Sha Tin over the 1,200. He likes to roll along?
Yeah, look, he's a naturally quick horse, so you don't want to get in his way too much. He was still a little bit fresh going into that trial, and I just wanted that to just take the edge off him going into the race.
You mentioned the draw. It's a little tricky, gate 9. How do you see it panning out potentially?
Oh, look, I'll leave that in Jack's hands. But look, he'll settle in the first 4, I would imagine. Where in that first 4, we'll leave it up to Zach.
There he is, Mark Newnham on one more. Of course, he ran into some trouble last start and then was a trial winner, and in that trial was dazzling fit. We can move on and have a look at Super Legends, Righteous Arian, and also Big Return, but Call Me Glorious, rather, off the front here, and he began fast. He had a good lead and fought on really gamely, I thought, here behind a talented master of my university. He did lose a plate in this run too.
Yeah, look, he drew 10. He loves the barrier 10, actually. He's drawn 10 at his last 2 starts. Super Legends, I think he'll get out and from barrier 6 and probably hit him with a £10 claim this time. He might just have to work to get across. So a lot of it's going to happen what happens at the start. But if Super Legends can roll along, and I'm sure that's going to be the plan with this horse, he can be a hard horse to run down.
Yeah, he's had a good season, has Super Legends. On we move now to Lifeline Express and also with Genius Baby, who was down the track here. But Lifeline Express, the typical sort of performance from him.
Yeah, he gets back, runs on. That's what happens with him. He's drawn 11. So I think their hand's been played. They're going to have to go back and run on once again. Again, he's such a consistent horse this season. He's had 10 goes this season. He's won 1. That wasn't a good to yielding track. And there is a bit of rain forecast around, so keep an eye on that. But he's had 5 seconds, a third and a fourth, so he's a very consistent horse.
Yeah, typical sort of run there, finishing off strongly at the end. Eris Nova's had a good back end to the season. Of course, he defeated Cross-Border Pegasus 2 runs ago, and he's been able to come out and win since, and he ran a pretty strong third here behind Module Construction last start.
Yeah, another good run, and he's always shown a bit of ability, this horse. From barrier number 4, he'll probably settle back along the rails. So, look, he's definitely going to get his opportunity once again in this race. He's just creeping up the ratings a little bit. He carries 129, but he's obviously a horse that's in a bit of form at the moment.
Yeah, you can see him finishing off there, Blazing Wind, Super Infinity, all there as well over the final stages. And Aaron chased the speed last time out. There was plenty of speed. He was a decisive and easy victor here last start.
He's always, like, I've always had a bit of time for this horse, and I think he can make the jump up in grade and win once again. This is Class 4. He did have something to chase at, but I think it could be a similar race here with Call Me Glorious and Super Legends in the race. I think he could be sitting just in behind those two, and he can be chasing them as well. From barrier number 5, Andrea Zini was on board here when the horse won. he sticks with him, and I think Ricky Hughes got him going very well at the moment.
Yeah, connections in these colours have always had a useful horse, and looks like they've got another one here. So he's on top. Who's second, third, fourth?
Yeah, we'll put Aaron on top here. I'm going to put Super Legends in with that claim. I just like the fact he's got that claim and a low draw. One more we heard from Mark Newnham there is very unlucky at his last time, and Lifeline Express gets back, runs on. 9-4-5-2.
Plenty of good chances going around in race number 9, which kick-starts the 5th and final double trio. And we're up to the preview for race number 10, Saturday at Sha Tin, and it is the best race of the day, which has been saved until last, the Class 2 over 1,200 metres. And a fast network now rated 103. Bottom up together, a all-weather track winner last start. Wunderbar is back. Gorgeous Win hasn't been far away. Invincible Shield in terrific form. Lyle Hewitson rides him. Shoot Our Spirit at 1,200. Gustav Sissimo. Ladies' Choice got involved in that speed battle last start. And a Whiz Kid drawn barrier 12 hasn't been bad in his last couple of assignments.
Really good race. There's a lot of speed in the race, though. Ladies' Choice, as you mentioned, in that speed battle. Wunderbar can lead or trail, Bottom Up Together can lead, Wizkid can lead, Tomodachi Kokoro can lead as well. Gusto Sissimo, even he's led in the past. So
anyone that doesn't lead?
Yeah, there's Dancing Code went forward and led, didn't he? Attila Begil, he doesn't lead. He'll go back.
There's one. There's one, so there could be a bit of pace in this final event. A horse that got back last time out and ran home exceptionally strongly to win by 4 lengths was Fast Network, and here's his jockey, Hugh Bowman. Hugh, Fast Network, he's lining up in a pretty hot-looking Class 2 race over 1,200 metres, but you were aboard him last time out. Were you surprised the manner that he did it? 4 lengths, that margin.
Yeah, I tell you what, he enjoyed the fast tempo. That it really set it up for him to finish the way he did. But he's certainly one of the most progressive horses in Hong Kong, and he's done well since his trial well at Chung Fa since then, and he's aided by an ace barrier, number 1, and yeah, there's some very worthy opponents in this race, and we've got to give them a few pounds. But look, he won with authority last time, and I don't think this race is any stronger.
And with that pace last start, even after the barriers, you had to give them a bit of a head start the field, didn't you?
Yeah, well, I don't mind doing that if they're going quick enough. It's when you're giving them a head start and they're not going quick that it's a worry. But I think he goes up a little bit in weight, but he's earned that, and if he gets the same sort of circumstances, I don't think the weight will stop him.
The race set up this week with the good draw, you can just sit back again and watch everything unfold potentially?
Well, I'll just get him out, and, I don't want to give away ground, but, I won't chase him up for a spot either. I'll just let him find that sweet rhythm, and hopefully it's very rare that you have a lacklustre run race, particularly at this sort of level in Hong Kong. So, yeah, I expect an even or quick run race, which will suit him, and we just need some clear room when we start to let him down.
He's up in the ratings now, 103. Is he the horse that could potentially make his presence felt rather in, like I say, a Group 3 Sha Tin Vase at the end of the month?
Yeah, I've got no doubt. I mean, like I said, he's one of the most progressive horses in the jurisdiction, and look, he's a very sensible horse. He's got a good brain and he's got a good engine. So that's one step at a time, but, I think we're yet to see the ceiling with him.
Hugh Bowman there with the dinnership, trained Fast Network carrying the 135. Well, of the opposition, well, he did beat this horse a couple of runs ago, who's since come out and won, Paul, Bottom Up Together, and he got out to a, I guess you could say, a luxurious price last start too.
Yeah, he did. Look, it was his first time on this surface, Bottom Up Together, and he'd trialled really well on it. Yeah, he ended up starting at 5.4, and look, he didn't win like a 5.4 chance. He's in good form at the moment. He's a very consistent horse, is Bottom Up Together. Look, he's going to have his work cut out against Fast Network, though, I think.
Won this race very easily there on the dirt, but this is a very strong race coming up as the final event. So we can move on to Invincible Shield. Dancing Code in this race here, but he has struggled in this grade. Wanted to fire up a little bit at the 900 and get his head up and race a bit keenly. But Invincible Shield, after turning up from Queensland, Paulie, probably bit unlucky not to run closer in his first up run, but ever since then he just hasn't looked back and he's continued to step up.
Yeah, it was a bit unlucky there, wasn't he? He's had 3 wins in a row now, and he's very progressive, as you can see from this win. He's drawn barrier number 5. He can come off a fast pace. He looks a major chance.
He certainly does. He's a different jockey each and every start, though, here in Hong Kong now has Invincible Shield. And here we've got Gusto Sissimo only going up £1. Now, this is the race where Ladies' Choice and Glory Elite got involved in a serious battle through those early stages. Ladies' Choice opted to get out of that. Glory Elite since come out and won at Happy Valley. Gorgeous win running on from the back.
Yeah, so look, he's another horse who's drawn low. He's drawn barrier number 2. So he's going to get his opportunity as well. It's a really good race to finish. Gusto Sissimo got the race absolutely run to suit. You'd have to say it was a good run from Ladies' Choice because he was there till the end. Well, look, good old Wizkid finishing off strongly as well, but he's drawn wide. I think he's going to struggle.
Yes, barrier number 12 for him, but Fast Network in the last?
Going to go with Fast Network. I think he's a very progressive horse. It's a really strong race, but I think he can win, and hopefully he comes up a little bit of a price there. Invincible Shield, like he's another one. He's won his last 3. Bottom up together, hosed up last time as we saw in the all-weather. Wunderbar's 2 from 2 fresh, and he's drawn low, barrier number 3. One of the good things in this race is all the main protagonists have all drawn low, which means everyone's going to get their chance. 1, 5, 2, 3 in the last.
It's shaping up to be a great race, the last at 5:45. That's it for the race-by-race preview with the first event getting underway Saturday, Sha Tin, 1 o'clock.